Hello and welcome to the podcast. The last episode was cut short because my kids had just finished classes and we were talking about qualification, disqualification, and data discipline. So, if this is your first time listening to the podcast and you want to understand what these terms mean, why they're important, then after you're done listening to this episode, skip back, listen to the last episode, and then you are going to get caught up to speed. But as a general summary, if I remember correctly, I think what we said was okay, how did I put it? Okay, well, anyway, what I said in the last episode was this whole idea of qualification or disqualification is we're trying to sort out people, basically. So when you hear any marketing professional, excuse me, or you hear any sales professional talking about qualification or disqualification, essentially what we're trying to do is we're trying to sort out people. We're trying to separate the wheat from the chaff. We're trying to separate people into, some clear groups, two, three, four, four, five, just so that we know where we're going to focus our energy on, or where we're going to focus our time on, or where we're going to focus our money on. So that is the whole thing around qualification and disqualification. Because not all leads are created equal, or not all prospects are created equal. It's not everybody that enters your shop that deserves all your time. It's not everybody who slides into your DM that deserves all your time. Even when you're going outside to go and do marketing, it is not every single person that you should be pursuing equally. For people that walk into your shop, you should be spending more time with some people over other people. For people who slide into your DM, your direct message, you should be spending more time with some people instead of other people. If you're going outside for networking, you're going outside for marketing, you're going outside for whatever, you should be spending some time with some people over other people. Now, let me correct one thing. I'm a Christian and I'm Catholic. So, I'm not saying some people are more important than others because we're all created in the image and likeness of God. So, everybody deserves our respect and everybody deserves a certain amount of dignity. However, because na money I define, if five of you slide into my DM, some people seem more interested than others. I will pay attention to those people who, seem more interested first. Those people are more qualified to receive my attention now. When I am done with those other people, I will now go and start attending to other people. It's not something to feel bad about. People do it in every single discipline. When you go to the hospital, those people who are emergencies, they will take people straight into theater from emergency because, oh, this one is an accident, this one is this. They will skip the queue. The rest of us that just have malaria, we will wait while they deal with the emergency. The same thing in the civil service. You want to apply for this, you want to apply for that, you want to apply for that. Different tracks. When you enter into the banking hall, it's the same thing. Those that want to collect Western Union transfer, this way. Those people that have customer service issue, this way. Those people that have blah, 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 this way. And then you get some kind of people that they will come into the bank, they will shout, blah, blah. You just take that person straight to the manager's office. This one is the manager that will deal with. So, this whole thing of triaging and this whole thing of sorting, or this whole thing of whatever it is we want to call it, in sales, in marketing, we call it qualification and discovery. It applies in every single discipline. So don't feel one kind that you're doing it. It is a normal thing. You are limited by time. You are limited by money. You are limited by your skill set. You have to triage. You have to sort. We have to sort out people. So, the intro essentially was what we spoke about the last time, qualification and disqualification. That is what it's all about. Now, data discipline just means before you sort people, you need some kind of information. That is the information, the data. Data just means information. It's the data that you get that will determine what will happen next. When you get into the banking hall, Hmm? The security guard at the banking hall says, "Good morning, sir. Welcome to Access Bank." And then from the way he looks at you, you can see that he's trying to gauge like what is it that you want. Actually, what he should say is, "Good morning, welcome to Access Bank. How can I help you?" They never add the "How can I help you" part. Then when you now say, "Oh, somebody stole my ATM card," blah blah blah, then he will now direct you. Will say, "Go to that part of the office. Go and ask for Chidera. When you see her, tell her everything that happened." Because the security guard was able to get some data, was able to get some information. He was able to determine the next course of action. That is how triage works. So all of us go to the hospital. Oh, you want to see a doctor? Yes. Oh, you look as if you're a little, it's just headache and my body is doing me one kind. Okay, no problem. Just sit down here. But then the person that comes and I want to see a doctor, looks as if the person is shaking. Oh, when last did you eat? What's the symptom? Nurse, 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 nurse. Then you now start forming activity. That's how one guy entered into the hospital and then he just collapsed and. Washa, data, information. That is all determine what you do next. So it's the same thing when it comes to sales or when it comes to marketing. We need data on the people that we're talking to. So from the questions that we ask, we're going to elicit certain kinds of data, elicit certain kinds of information. That is what will determine who I should spend attention to, spend time with now, or the person I should relegate. Like, you know what? Let me spend time with this person, this other person, like 3 hours. I'll get back to him. So essentially, those are the things that I introduced in the last episode and that we're going to start talking about in this particular episode. So, anytime you hear qualification, disqualification, it just means how do I sort people? Now, I like to keep things simple. So, I tell people that when we're sorting out people, we're just trying to separate people into three groups, three categories. We're keeping it simple. You will talk to some other people and they will give you 5 steps, and all of that is cool. It's not bad. However, the simpler your paradigm, the easier it is to apply. So I just want you to think about things in three clear buckets. Oh, sorry. For those of you who are listening to the podcast for the first time, my name is Tavishima Ayede. I'm a former lawyer turned business consultant, and I solve business problems. That's what we do over here on the podcast. And of course, you already know the kind of problem that we're trying to solve here today. Now, if you'd like to connect with me, you can call me, send me a text message, or send me a WhatsApp message on 080-6466-2140. Then, if you don't have the 20, 30, 50 minutes to listen to podcast episodes when they drop, you can join my WhatsApp group. On the WhatsApp group, what I do is I create PDF summaries of podcast episodes. And of course, since it's a PDF and it's a summary, 2 to 5 minutes, you can read, you can digest, you can get the key points, you can get the highlights about what to apply next. So, if you can invest this amount of time every single day, not a problem. Join the WhatsApp group, read the PDFs, and you'll know what it is to do next. When you have more time, you can come back, download a bunch of episodes, and then binge listen to them, like most of you do. So, to join the WhatsApp group, you just send me a text message or a WhatsApp message on 080-6466-2140, and then I'll hook you up. Also, apologies, holidays are upon us, the kids are home, so I've tried to insulate, the background and everything, but just in case you hear any noise, it's the kids. So, we try and sort people out into three main groups. Number one, who is interested? Because if somebody is not interested, what are you spending time with the person for? It is not going to give you money now. And a lot of us are spending time talking to people who are not even interested. That is the reason why people get frustrated, after 3 weeks, whatever, and you say, that person is unserious. So back when I was in the event space as a wedding photographer, that is something that people used to say a lot. You hear a wedding planner say, that girl, she's unserious. You hear a photographer say, that guy is unserious. You hear an MC say, that couple, they're unserious. No, it is not the couple that is unserious. It is you who are unserious because you don't have a process for trying to figure out who it is that is interested in the first place, which is why you wasted 3 weeks, 4 weeks chasing somebody. So, a primary concern when people slide in the DM, when they come to the shop, when they come to the website, when they, meet you on the trade floor, on the networking floor, on the whatever, any which way, is this person interested? That is group one. That is category one. Person is interested. Okay, follow them, the yarn, continue. Then we also now want to category two, like who is curious. The thing about curious people is, they're kind of interested, they're also kind of not interested. You know, they just want to know in case of incasity, maybe one day. Now, you see why I'm saying that not everybody deserves your time. Somebody is interested now. The person wants to take action now. Another person is just curious. Two of them are standing in front of you. Of course, you tell the person who's curious that, oh, sorry, one moment. It looks as if you require a bit more information. If you could just give me a couple of minutes, I'll attend to you. Let me just talk to this gentleman for a bit. And then you take the other person aside and deal with them. This other person is close to the money. This other person is not close to the money. What's the confusion? It's that simple. It's like with the hospital. This person has malaria. Let him sit down. This other person, they brought the person in. Blood is coming out from everywhere. Let's figure out what's the problem. It's the same thing. So who is interested? We'll put them one side. Who is curious? We'll put them one side. Then the last group, I like to call them waka pass. Waka pass. If I don't even know how to define them. They're just some people that you know you just be asking yourself like, I don't even know why I wasted my time. Some people are just waka pass, time wasters, kind of people. We need to figure out who they are quick. If you spend 3 weeks with a waka pass, the problem is your own problem. It's not them that have the issue. It's you that have the issue. Which is why we're going to talk about qualification or disqualification frameworks later on in this episode. So those are the three buckets that I tell people. Let's try and figure out first who is interested. We'll put pressure on those ones who are curious. Okay, these people are okay, but it will be a follow up. It will be a follow up game. We'll follow them easy, small, small, small. Then the waka pass people, like, why are we wasting time on the waka pass people? Why? We give them a business card and we let them go. We give them a flyer and we let them go. Or if we have email marketing campaigns, no problem. Put them in an email marketing campaign, let them go. One day they might be curious enough, or maybe one day the problem becomes very, very big, and then no problem. You have that conversation. Some of you might be wondering, this is my classification self. Is this thing realistic? Let me give you my own personal experience. I'm not making this one up. Personal. One day, I was just chilling. Back when I had my studio, just chilling now in the studio. It was one of those days that NEPA was okay, so I put on the AC, everywhere nice and chilling. Editing some photos. Then my friend called. Let's call her Ijoma. Say, hey, Ijoma, what's up? Blah, 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 blah. Just catching up. Ijoma was working in financial services back then. You can know her real name. So Ijoma was like, Tave, because that's how she was kind of a boutique, so that's how she's called me, Tave. I said, hey, Tave, how much to cover the wedding? Immediately she said that. I said, praise the Lord. She said, Tave, you have come again. I said, no, now that you're a fine babe now, you just be on the market here wasting that, finally somebody has come along. I said, yes, I'm very, very happy, everything. She's like, I beg, how much? Please note. She said, how much to cover wedding, blah, 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 blah. I said, praise the Lord. I assumed that she had a guy. Assumption. This is why I tell salespeople that we don't assume anything. We ask. Assumption kills us. So, we started talking. It will be in the village, blah, blah, blah. These are the colors. It will be the bridal train. the blah blah blah. Every like we talk. I can't remember how long we spoke, but sure, we spoke. Then we started talking about options, the number of albums, the frames, the everything. She wanted to know about soft copy editing, times for delivery, and everything. So I said, delivery. Like, are you guys going to be traveling immediately? They said, don't. Let's not talk about that one first. We spoke, and I got information. Enough information to give her three options: option A, option B, option C, for the coverage of her wedding. Now, after we had spoken for a while, for a good while, and I said, seriously, who is the guy self? Who is he? I just want to know, is he anybody that I know? And guess what she told me? She told me that he has not proposed yet, so there's no need to know his name. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, you heard me correctly. The guy had not proposed yet. It was just a guy. It looks as if things might be serious, things might not be serious. The friends are saying he's going to propose sometime soon. So therefore, she is doing her research. Can you say this is somebody who is interested? Or is this somebody who is just curious? Or is this somebody who is a waka pass? I'll leave you to decide. But in my own opinion, this kind of person clearly is not interested. There's a guy, he might propose. He also might not propose. By the way, when I called her afterwards, she didn't answer the phone. So I'm assuming he didn't propose. That things didn't turn out quite well. Is she interested? The answer is no. She's just curious. She's just doing research. Is she a waka pass? I don't know. Some of you might say she's a waka pass. But if I had asked the appropriate questions, oh, congratulations. And I started with, when did he propose? He said, no, he hasn't proposed. I'm just asking. You see, I wouldn't have wasted time in that conversation. Like, oh, really? Okay, you're just trying to do research. How come? Oh, there's a guy. Eh. Okay, so you just want to know what's up. Okay, typically, this is how it works. In Abuja, there are different kinds of photographers, this level, this level, this level. And these are the kind of packages that we offer, like this, like that, like that. So just in case, like the guy were to propose, like, what would you be looking at? Okay, we should be looking at maybe this amount, that amount. But honestly, Ijoma, before we start doing anything details, like let's calm down first. Like maybe when the guy proposes and you and the family has met, and then we can start talking, details. I'll be, how does that sound? Of course, you will say okay. Now, that kind of conversation, back, 5 minutes, 7 minutes, you're done. You move on with your day rather than talking for somebody close to 1 hour. And then I say, who is the guy? So, oh, he has not proposed, so there's no need for you to know his name. The problem was not with Ijoma. The problem was with me. I did not have a process for figuring out who is interested, who is curious, who is a waka pass. If you ever find yourself in that situation, don't say, Ijoma is unserious. No, you are the one who's unserious. You don't have the process. So let's start trying to figure out the process for separating interested versus curious versus waka pass. Remember, the whole idea is we're going to focus time, we're going to focus energy, we're going to focus resources on people closest to the money. So if you're talking to an Ijoma looks like they proposed, like they're good to go, the family has met, blah blah blah. Oh, mommy and daddy are in town and they want to see samples. By all means, give me the address. I'll be there in 15 minutes. I will invest time. I will invest energy. I will invest resources and drive to the house. Mommy is in town. Before mommy goes back to Geneva, let us sit down and start looking at samples. You get me? But then, if she's just curious, like, what's the need? Let's talk for 3 minutes, 5 minutes over the phone. Let this thing be. If somebody is a worker pass, you let them go. You say, oh, if you want more information, here is my website. Or let me have your email address. I will email you some material. So, qualification, disqualification. Is this person worth my time? That is what we're trying to figure out. Is this person worth my time? To figure out if this person is worth my time, we need to know if there is a big problem. We need to know if this person is serious. And we know all these things by asking questions. And the questions that we ask, we use a qualification framework. I repeat, listen carefully. Listen very, very carefully. Especially those of you who are brand new. You've been doing your tailoring business. You're starting your startup, something, something, whatever. You're in your first year. You're in your second year. In fact, you're in your third year. Some people self in year five. Listen very carefully. This is how it works. Question and then qualification framework. Two things: questions and then qualification framework. The reason why I'm stressing questions is because those of you who are brand new are assuming that it is statements, it is things that you will say. You will now start asking people, what do you say when you want people to? No, it's not about what you say. It's not about how you toast. It's not about how smooth you are. It's not about your accent. It's not about how fine you are. It's not okay. You know what? All those things are important. But the most important thing is the questions that you ask. The reason why it is questions is because the questions that you ask will get the other person talking. And we want the other person to talk. We want to be in a conversation. We want to be in the situation where I say one, she says two. I say A, she says B. I say X, she says Y. We are talking back and forth. When we talk back and forth, remember data discipline. This is where I will get the data when the other person starts talking. If they come into my shop, if they come into my DM, if they come into my email inbox, if I meet them on a networking floor and they keep on saying, I am the greatest, I am the best, I am the brightest, I am the fastest, I am the this, I am the smoothest, I have learned nothing. I do not know if the person is interested. I don't know if they're curious. I don't know if they're a wakapas because I am doing all the damn talking. If you learn nothing else from this particular episode, learn please that it is about questions, not statements. It is not what you say, it is the questions that you ask. Then, for those questions, don't be freestyling. You need a framework, you need a formula. There's a formula for the questions that you should be asking. So, how you sort people, how you separate the wheat from the chaff, how you separate interested from wakapas is you ask questions, and that question you should be following a qualification framework. There are different kinds of qualification frameworks. So, I'm not one of those people who say use this. This is the best. There is no best. It depends on who you are. It depends on your skill set. It depends on your experience. It depends on your industry. It depends on the kind of people that you do business with. It depends on the kind of, social, cultural context and on and on and on. Too many factors. So it depends. The best one is the one that you understand and the one that you can use. And then from my own personal perspective, right? The one that you should use is the one that has the simplest elements, not too many. All those people who talk about 15-step qualification processes is all well and good. But if you can't remember 15 steps, what's the point? So that's the reason why on the podcast I talk about all these things, 2-step, 3-step, 5-step, max. 2, 3, 4, 5, you will remember. 7, 10, 12, 15, like, I don't know. What's the point? Now, we're going to look at one today. Okay, because this is 20, almost like 25 minutes. Okay, so we'll just do one sharply. Then tomorrow we'll come back and do the other two. Now, the qualification framework that we're going to use today is we're going to use the 5 Abi. Sorry, I can't remember. Is it 5 Abi 6? Anyway, the 5W framework. Depending on who says it, it either ends up with 5 or maybe like 7. But the framework is full of W's. The idea behind it is open-ended questions that start with W's. Who, why, what, when, where. Some people include how, even though how doesn't start with a W. You see, when you put how, you've entered 6. Then some people add a bunch of stuff. So depending on who you talk to, you might hear 5, you might hear 6, you might hear 7. But what do they have in common? A lot of them have W's in it, and they're open-ended. Open-ended means is the kind of question that when you ask, the person has to give you an answer by giving you a story. Because remember, I asked Ijoma, I said, you know what? Who is this guy To answer who is this guy, you guys give a story. That say, oh, you remember Chukudi when we were in JSS3? Say, it's a lie. Is it that Chukudi? She will now start laughing. That Chukudi that you couldn't stand, he's the one that you're marrying now. You see, she can't, to answer it, she can't say yes or no. She has to give a story. So that's the idea behind the 5W framework. So who, why, what, where, when. Some people say how, and I can't remember the one that makes it seven. Go and do your research. But even if you ignore how and you just start with who, why, what, where, when, it's okay. It's a start. Now you can see why I say there's no perfect whatever, but the one that you can remember. You can be in a conversation with somebody. You can be flowing, and you can ask the who question. They'll talk, 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 talk. You now know that, oh, okay, let me ask a why question. They'll talk, 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 talk. When, why, how. You see, you can remember it in your head. Who, why, what, where, when, how. So at this stage, you're new into the game. 1 year, 2 years, even 5 years self. Don't bother yourself about looking for the perfect one. The one that you hear that like, that thing makes sense. That's it. Just hang on to that one for dear life. Then continue to use it until you squeeze the life out of it. Until you get to the stage where you're sleeping, they pour a bucket of water of you, they wake up and they say, what's your qualification framework? You just recite it. Who, why, what, where, when. When you reach that stage, okay, no problem. We can start looking for other frameworks. So the goal is open-ended questions. Now, what kind of open-ended questions are you supposed to be asking? Two things. You're supposed to be asking about issues that are important to you. Then you're also going to be asking questions about issues that are important to the prospect, to the potential customer, to the potential client. If you ask about issues that are important to you, you can be well prepared. If you ask about issues that are important to the prospect, then you know how you're going to plan this offering, this proposal, the presentation that you're going to make eventually. Because these questions we're not going to ask questions forever. The reason why we're asking questions is twofold. Number one, we need to know, is this person interested? Are they curious? Are they a waka pass? That's number one. Number two, the reason why we ask the question is so that we will know the kind of proposal that we're going to make, the kind of presentation we're going to make, the kind of invoice, the kind of quotation, the kind of, that we'll present to them. So that's how we ask the questions. Number one, data discipline, we're looking for information to help us sort people. Then number two, we're looking for information that will help us determine how much will I charge this person, what will solve this person's problem, blah, blah, blah. All those issues. So let's do small practical. Forgive me, I'm freestyling now. But, if you sit down with ChatGPT or something, you'll be able to. Sorry, one moment. These guys are making too much noise. Let me just quiet them down small. I'll be back. Sorry about that. They're just making noise up and down. And anyway, that's the beauty of having kids. So for those of you who don't have children yet, it's my hope and my prayer that whatever year you're listening to this podcast, it's my hope that it will be your year, that God will locate you with that husband or with that wife, with that soulmate, that will help put some honey and sweetness in your life. And then in another 10, 11, 12 months, you will welcome the fruit of the womb. So it's a good thing. Don't worry that some of those of us who are in it sometimes we complain about noise and complain about sleepless nights and stuff like that. But it's all good. It's all part of the fun. All right, so let's do some examples now. Like I said, I'm freestyling. So if you really want to appreciate how beautiful this thing can be, once you're done listening to this podcast episode, you just sit down with your phone. Then you sit down on the sheet of paper, sit down with your pen. Then you now start using ChatGPT or Gemini or whatever and start prompting it for questions for open-ended questions using the 5W framework. Questions that are who, why, what, where, when, how. Then you now apply it to your own business. I'm willing to bet my left that if you go through this exercise, you will see at least 4 or 5 questions like, that is interesting. Why have I never asked a potential customer this kind of question before? So try it. It will help your business. It will help your sales process, because you will now find that when you do this exercise today, and you talk to another customer, potential customer tomorrow, you'll be surprised at how easy you start being able to figure out, oh, this person is not really interested. I guess this person is a worker pass. Or this person is interested. But it's looking like this is the kind of person that I should give the lowest package. Or this is the kind of person that I should give the premium package. So if you are in fashion, don't just rely on what I say now. Remember, you finish this podcast episode, take your chat GPT, your Claude, your Perplexity, your whatever it is that you use. You can also do this using WhatsApp Business Assistant. You can also do this using Snapchat AI. Whatever tool you want to, it will help you. So if you're in fashion, somebody comes into the shop and the person says that she wants to make black halter top V-neck. You say, oh yes, mommy, we can do that. Who is the dress for? Mommy, is it for you? Mommy will say, yes, that it is for her. Remember who, why, what, where, when, how. You say, okay, so mommy, what do you need the dress for? She will say, my daughter is getting married, something, something, something. And then remember, we keep this thing conversational. Ah, mommy, we thank God for your life. Praise the Lord. Now, in fact, mommy, before you leave, you pray for me. I want to collect blessing because, mommy, this year, even myself, I want to find my husband. As you people are celebrating your daughter, by the end of this year, me too, I want to celebrate with my own husband too. The woman will laugh and she will say, my dear, God will do it for you. See, this is how you build rapport. And this is why I say sales is conversational. So even though in your mind you know that there's a script you're following, you don't deliver it like a robot. You just deliver it like you're having a conversation with somebody. Normal. Normal. Some of you get too formal. Please find here with, hitherto attached. Like, what's all that language for? When sales, we're trying to collect money. Which one is please find attached? And all that formal language. Relax. So, who is this for? She said this. Oh, what do you need it for? Her daughter is getting married. And you'll be asking more and more questions. Now, because she has said, my daughter is getting married in December. If the woman is talking to you in November, can you not see that this might be an interested and serious person? Because somebody has showed up in November for a wedding that is happening in December. Meanwhile, if somebody says, my daughter is getting married in December, but she's talking to you in January, the wedding is still far. Could it be that mommy is just curious? But you ask, say, mommy, this one, that the wedding is still far now. Say, no, 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 no. In my family, we don't take chances. We like to prepare, blah, 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 blah. As she's talking, you get a sense of which kind of person is mommy. Or mommy might say, my dear, I know absolutely nothing about fashion. Left to me self, I just wanted to tie wrapper. But my daughter said this, my daughter said that. So I say, well, let me just come out and see what is there. So I'm just looking around. In that case, you now know that your strategy is you will follow mommy and try and be a helpful resource and try and be a guide throughout this whole period as they're planning for the wedding. You see how asking these questions, who, why, what, where, when, how, will help you figure out who am I dealing with. This person is interested. Are they serious? Are they curious? Is the thing happening now? Maybe it's not happening now. How should I follow this person? Also, what kind of package will I offer? For the woman who says that, look, me, I just wanted to tie wrapper, but my daughter said no, mommy was this in the big style. Does that sound like the kind of woman that you're going to offer a premium package to? She already doesn't value fashion. She doesn't. So, of course, you show her the premium package, but trying to squeeze her for the premium package, do you think it's going to work? She said left to her, she would tie wrapper and go. But her daughter said, no, mommy, we must do this in the grand style. So, maybe if you are, sorry, hold on. The call is coming through. Let me just decline the call. Sorry about that. I record all my podcast episodes, every single one since I started up until now for the last almost like 7 years. I've done everything on my phone. Which is why when I say that you want to do a content marketing strategy for your business, there's no need to go expensive. All this studio time, buy computer, buy editing, like just come. Anyway, that's a topic for another day. So you can see now that by asking these kinds of questions, you now know, is mommy serious or not? And then you now know that is mommy the kind of person that I will show premium lace? Somebody that says she's okay with tying wrapper. Maybe I should now start showing her the middle class lace. Maybe. Anyway, for those of you who are in the fashion space, you are the ones who are the professionals, so you know what it is I need to do next. But asking these simple questions: who, why, what, where, when, how, the 5W framework. Remember, in some places, some people will say 7W. I just can't remember the 7. So, yeah, these are the kinds of questions that you ask. You start getting a sense of who it is that you're talking to and what kind of options that you should show the person. So if you're in the B2B space, you sell in the business to business space, it's the same thing. Oh, you're having so and so problem. Oh, really? When did it start? How come you people are looking at doing this now? What are the problems you have been facing so far? Let's say it's a software thing. What are the problems you've been facing so far? So it's from asking questions like this that you now be able to know that, oh, you know what? This thing actually is a huge problem that is costing the business lots of money. And so if I can get a quick meeting with the head of IT and or whatnot, I'll be able to push this thing forward so that they'll buy my software. Instead of your current approach, which is when somebody slides into your DM, you just send them price sheet, gold package, silver package, bronze package, copper package. You're sending them package, like, why? You don't know who it is. You don't know if they're interested. You don't know if they have do you even know what it is that they can afford? Where you just send somebody price package, you now pick copper package. Meanwhile, diamond package would have been better to solve their problem. So whether you're in fashion, whether you're in B2B, whether you're in consulting, whether you're a photographer, whether you are a sculptor, whether you doesn't matter what it is. If you're a sculptor, it's still the same. Oh, you want this piece commissioned? Okay. The piece is being commissioned for who? Oh, your late father. Oh, I'm terribly sorry about that. May God help you cope with the loss. So, oh, okay. Oh, he died about 10 years ago. Well, anyway, I understand because even for myself, my own popsy died 15 years ago, and sometimes, the thing still does me anyhow. What kind of person was Popsy? You see? What kind of person was Popsy? What did he like? Blah blah blah. Tell me more about him. This. By the time they talk about Popsy, in your mind, you're now getting a sense of the kind of sculpture that will be suitable for their purposes. But if somebody just comes and says, I want a sculpture of my father, and you now tell them that if it is wooden sculpture, 1 million. If it is a metal sculpture, 5 million. If it is a marble sculpture, 20 million. Like, why are you just throwing out million? Do you know who you're talking to? Do you know what they can afford? Do you know why they even want the thing? Do you know how serious they are? By asking these kind of questions, you might be able to get somebody to divulge that, well, my siblings and I are talking about these sorts of things. My oldest brother is really up for it, but the rest of us were not really in favor. So, honestly speaking, the only reason why I'm just here is because I just want to tell my older brother that, well, we went ahead and then we got the information. If somebody tells you that kind of thing, at least now you know that the main person is the eldest brother. So, me personally, if I'm a sculptor and I'm having this kind of conversation with this person, I will not waste time going into details with this person. I'll be trying to see how I can collect the older brother's number. Oh, he's in Canada, blah, blah. So it's okay. That's not a problem. But since he's the one that is most invested in it, let me just talk to him and get a better sense of what kind of sculpture it is that he would like created, and then blah 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 and whatnot. Anyway, it's been 40 minutes, so let me just bring this thing to a close. I believe that you guys are getting the gist, especially those of you who are listening to the podcast for the first time. If you're one of these people that people slide into your DM and they say how much, and then you send them back a price list, gold package, silver package, platinum package, copper package, stop it. Engage the people in a conversation. You're trying to figure out who is this person, are they interested, are they just curious, are they a waka pass? For interested people, okay, good, let's lean in, let's dig in. Then we'll ask open-ended questions with a qualification framework to try and figure out exactly what they need so that we'll know how to charge them and we'll know what will be required on our own end to fulfill this ordeal. One framework that we've looked at today is open-ended questions using the 5W frameworks. Remember, depending on who you talk to, some people will say 6W, some people will say 7Ws. But one thing that I all have in common is they have W at the beginning or at the end. Now, for the six that I can remember: who, why, what, where, when, and how. You will ask about issues important to the person. So remember the sculptor example. Hey, yeah, Popsy. Oh, when did he die? What kind of person was he? Blah, 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 blah. Those are issues that are important to the other person. By asking those questions, you get a sense of their sense of taste and what it is that they're trying to do. Then you now ask, start, and even from there, self, you will be figuring out issues that are important to you, and then start asking them questions. You don't start asking questions accordingly about the one that's more important to you. Now, cost of material, of course, is going to be. Sorry, like I said, I'm just freestyling. So I'm not a sculptor. So I don't know what's important and what is not. But I'm assuming that maybe that's the case. So eventually you start asking questions about issues that are important to you. There are different kinds of sculptures available, in this part of Nigeria. We can do wooden sculptures, we can do bronze sculptures, we can do this sculpture, we can do that sculpture. Have you people given this thing any thought? So, no, we haven't actually. And then you start educating them. And the more you're talking, you're figuring out the one that is important to you. Because if it is wooden sculpture, it will cost you this much. If it is bronze, it will cost you this much. If it is, on and on. So anyway, that's it. Bosha, please take this thing very, 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 very seriously. Sit down right now after this episode. Get a sheet of paper, get a pencil, then use your computer, use your phone, use your whatever, and then type it. You write it out. This is the prompt. You will say, I am a Nigerian female living in Lagos. I am about to start a business of importing. Sorry, one moment. Okay, sorry about that. So, you will. Where was I? So, the nature of the prompt now is you will say, I'm a Nigerian female living in Lagos, Nigeria. I'm about to. I want to get into the business of selling trinkets. I'm going to import them from Kano and then sell them in markets in Balogun in Lagos, Nigeria. I just listened to a podcast where the host spoke about qualification frameworks using the 5W framework of questions that start in who, why, what, when, and how. What kinds of qualification and discovery questions should I be asking people who come into my shop in Balogun using this framework? That is your prompt. You now hit send. Now, whether you use Claude, whether you use WhatsApp Business, whether you use Snapchat AI, whether you use ChatGPT, whether you use Perplexity or Claude or whatever, I assure you, you will find at least two or three questions that you've never thought about before and will make a difference in your business. Try it. If you try it and you come up with rubbish or you think it doesn't work, then call me, send me a text message or a WhatsApp message on 080-6466-2140. And immediately I pick up the phone. The first thing you say is, Tavishima, what you said was rubbish. I tried it and the thing didn't work. Let's have a conversation. Let me see how I can put you through. Remember, you don't have time to listen to 50-minute episodes. That's not a problem. Send me a text message, send me a WhatsApp message, ask to be put to the WhatsApp group. I'll do that. And in fact, once I upload this episode, in the next maybe like 30 minutes, the podcast, the PDF summary for this one is going to be available, and I'm going to share it on the WhatsApp group. So, thank you very much for your time and attention. Tomorrow, we're going to continue this whole conversation, but I'm going to expose you to two more frameworks. That's if I don't get carried away. One framework is going to be BANT. And then what else? Sorry, let me check my topic list. Oh, okay, just BANT. Okay, so just BANT. That's a budget, authority, need, and timeline. For those of you who've listened to it for a long time, you already know about it. So, in fact, if you're a regular listener of the podcast, don't worry, maybe you can skip next episode. So, those people who have never heard BANT before, the next episode, you should find it interesting as an alternative in case You think this 5W framework, who, why, what, where, when, how, is too unwieldy. Like, it can be anything, it can be everything. So BART is a little much more focused. So that's it. Thanks for your time and attention. I'll catch you all some other time.